All right, let me explain what's going on here. I've cut out all the parts and I'm getting an idea of how to assemble them. I did these little pointy chevrons for the ends of his ears. Normally it can be, it's just like a little swoosh, but I wanted to do something a little, I don't know, a little pointier, just to bring back that sort of gothic arch in the yellow part. That was why I made that choice. So I'll assemble those. Um, and of course, everything's reversed from how I drew it, which is fine. I cut out these purple complementary shapes to go on the body. Let's see how that works for me. Oh, I think that's upside down. It's really subtle. Yeah, okay. And then there's the cheeks and eyes. Again, just circles. The nose, just a circle. I just used paper punch. And that goes up there. His nose is really up high. You know, he's got his cheek here, which means his eyes are here. Nose is pretty high. And his mouth is really little. He's got a really little mouth. It's about right there. This cheek I can cut because it's part of his face. It's just like on the skin and wraps around with it. I'm just going to trim from the opposite side to get the correct contour here. But this eye is a different matter. The eye is a different object. So it is subject to some perspective. So I'm going to take my pencil and it'll keep the same height, of course. That symmetry is maintained with the height, but it's going to lose some of the width as it goes around the skull while being part of the skull. It's just this, and then a little on the inside. So it's much more like an ellipse at this point because it was a circle, but now it's turning away from us. And because it's a circle, you know, I mean, the eyeball is a sphere inside the skull, but on the surface of the skull, it appears as a circle. And as it turns away from us, it gets a much more elliptical point of view. And that is entirely because of the flesh surrounding the eye, causing it to have a blocking the spherical nature of it. So I'm just going to trim that eyeball along the lines I've just drawn. Again, not eliminating the height, just creating an ellipse by maintaining height symmetry, but now it's less wide. All right. I did my best. I don't have the greatest like scissors. And it's kind of dark here. Let's see. I think that's about it. A little better. Yes. So it's a little bit more true to its proper shapes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to assemble the body first before putting it on the background. As you see, I've got the rays prepared for his composition. Actually, that's another problem I have to face is how is the body going to fit on? Ooh, so let's tackle that first. How is this going to go, generally speaking? Well, I can assemble the head first. Some of the body parts I can put together. Some of them. Well, let's just fit it on, see how that works. A little bit at a time. We'll start with the body and the face. Put that under there. There. I don't have to do all the details. I'm just kind of getting his. Where is he compositionally? Well, the major parts of his body, and it looks like now his ear kind of goes crooked, so it works out nicely here because it's housed within the rays. But I think I'd like a little more contrast on that ear, so it's going to point up a bit. And then the tail comes out to this side somewhere. Put it right in there. And his feet are the next one, but his feet are pretty obvious where they're going to go. Right there. So that works pretty well. All right, I'm going to draw that. All right, see you soon. Okay, so I have finished assembling, and now I have my pop art Pikachu. Yay! Lots of circles, little weighty blobby shapes. The glue is still a little wet, so it's not entirely squished down, but overall, I thought that came out pretty cute. All right, as I promised, more complex characters with more complex shapes. I have one that is very iconic. I sort of showed it off in class once before. It is, of course, Darth Vader. Very, much more complex. I have a little money bank. It's actually my son's, but it's part of my collection. Anyway, Darth Vader. What is Darth Vader? Darth Vader is a skull. He's a skull. Yeah, you can't really miss that once you start looking for it. Somewhere between a skull and one of those creepy gas masks, and creepy fighter pilot helmets that were used in World War II by the Nazis. So we got this skull Nazi helmet fighter thing going on. And all of the associate emotional baggage that we would put with either skulls or Nazis or evil fighter pilots is on this man's head. Literally, it's on his head. And as a character, he tends to embody those emotional characteristics in his design as part of his personality as well. So that's what I mean by complex characters require complex shapes. It's also why your more complex animes have a whole lot of characters with very complicated designs. But ultimately, it is these very simple characters with things like circles and lightning bolts and hearts and shields and spirals, triangles, like, Phineas and Ferb. I don't know if any of you remember that. But Phineas has a triangle for a head, an isosceles triangle with the long side on top. And that is because he is literally level-headed. So, give some consideration to your character's personality. If you design your own characters sometime. For this project, choose somebody else's character that you consider to be iconic. Something simple that you can cut out of paper shapes without too much difficulty. I used a half sheet just to keep it small. For real pop art fun, try doing the same thing in different colors. That way you can have like a whole Andy Warhol sort of collection of the same character, just in different crazy, crazy colors. I'm going to see if I can do that for Pikachu sometime. But for now, that is iconic character design and recreation as pop art compositions. All right, have fun with this, and I will see you at the meeting.